Welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to talk about adverbs of frequency. Let's get started. Remember that an adverb is a word or set of words that modifies verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Now usually adverbs modify verbs, telling us how often, when, or where something was done. Have a look at the example over here. We walked really slowly. Note that there are two adverbs in the sentence. Now the adverb really modifies the other adverb, which is slowly. And the adverb slowly modifies the verb walked and tells us how we walked. Adverbs of frequency tell us how often something happens. They are also used to indicate routine or repeated activities. Have a look at the example over here. I always do my homework. Now the adverb of frequency in the sentence, always, tells us how often I do my homework. Remember that these adverbs are usually placed before the main verb, but after auxiliary verbs. Now have a look at the examples below. Our company frequently has brunches with potential clients. Note that has in the sentence is the main verb, and the adverb of frequency, frequently, comes before it. But in this sentence, you should always wait for the green light to cross the road. Should is an auxiliary verb, and it comes before the adverb of frequency, always. And the main verb is wait. Now the only exception is when the main verb is to be, in which case the adverb goes after the main verb, as in the example below. We are usually optimistic. Now when the frequency is 100%, the adverb of frequency we use would be always. For example, Sarah always helps her mom with dinner. And when the frequency is 90%, we use usually. For example, we usually go out on Fridays. And for 80% frequency, we use normally or generally. For example, Sean normally eats breakfast at 8 a.m. For 70%, often or frequently. For example, they often go to their parents at weekends. 50%, sometimes. For example, Peter sometimes forgets his kids' birthdays. And for 30% frequency, we use occasionally. For example, I occasionally eat vegetarian food. And for 10% frequency, we use seldom. For example, we seldom go on vacation together. For 5%, hardly ever or rarely. For example, Meredith hardly ever drinks coffee. And for 0% frequency, we use never. For example, they never eat junk food. Now we can also use the following expressions when we want to be more specific about the frequency. For example, every day, once a month, twice a year, 3 times a day, every other week, daily, monthly, annually, etc. Have a look at the example over here. I usually eat pizza once a month. Now, if you need to use more than one adverb of time in a sentence, use them in the following order. First, how long? Second, how often? And third, when. Have a look at the example over here. Peter worked at the mall for 4 days, every week, last year. 4 days? How long? Every week, how often? Last year? When? Now let's review and practice a bit. Remember that we use adverbs of frequency to show how often something happens or to indicate routine or repeated activities. Now create a sentence using the words or phrases in the bracket. I, to invite, sometimes my friends over. I sometimes invite my friends over. Now the most common adverbs of frequency are always, usually, normally, generally, often, frequently, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, hardly ever, rarely, and never. Now create a sentence using the following words or phrases in the bracket. We to go on Wednesdays occasionally to the pub. We occasionally go to the pub on Wednesdays. She to go in the morning to the gym often. She often goes to the gym in the morning. Also remember to place adverbs that tell us how often something happens before the main verb but after auxiliary verbs. Now, if there is a verb to be, then the adverb goes after the main verb. Now create a sentence using the words or phrases in the bracket. Michael first to call Anne usually. Michael usually calls Anne first. My mom with us never to be angry. My mom is never angry with us. Note that we can also use the following expressions when we want to be more specific about the frequency. For example, every day, once a month, twice a year, 3 times a year, etc. Now create a sentence using the words or phrases in the bracket. I to eat once a month, pizza, usually. I usually eat pizza once a month. Now, if you need to use more than one adverb of time in a sentence, make sure to use them in the following order. First, how long? Second, how often? Third, when? Now create a sentence using the words or phrases in the bracket. Kate to work daily last month for 10 hours. Kate worked for 10 hours daily last month. Now here's a short story using adverbs of frequency. Listen as I read so you can see how they are used in real-life conversation. After I'm done, make sure you understand all the grammar and read aloud yourself so that you can work on your own fluency and pronunciation. Maggie, you look fantastic. Thank you, Liz. Have you been working out? Yeah, actually, I usually work out every other day. I think it helps me to always stay in shape. Plus, I've noticed that my mood has gotten better too. And do you have a special diet? Honestly, no. But I try to eat healthy every day. Of course, I can't have pizza once in a while, but it doesn't happen that often. And now, time for you to practice on your own. Read the following sentences and fill in the gaps with the adverbs from the box. Twice a year, annually, occasionally, every other day, seldom. A. Pam orders food online. B. Nina drinks alcohol. She doesn't like the taste of it. C. I have exams at uni. D. Birthdays are celebrated. E. Sam goes to the gym. He is too lazy to do it daily. And now, restore the word order in the following sentences. A. I late to get up, often on Saturdays. B. How often to travel you? C. When usually to go on vacation you? D. Samantha for work never to be late. E. He 3 times a day not to take a shower. And now, let's check your answers. Pam occasionally orders food online. Nina seldom drinks alcohol. She doesn't like the taste of it. I have an exam at uni twice a year. Birthdays are celebrated annually. Sam goes to the gym every other day. He is too lazy to do it daily. I often get up late on Saturdays. How often do you travel? When do you usually go on vacation? Samantha is never late for work. He doesn't take a shower 3 times a day. Thank you for watching this tutorial.